Alrighty, Roo. Yeah, I said alrighty, Roo, and I said it when I messed this up when we were taping it before. I'm not ashamed of my alrighty, Roos, and I live in America where I can do what I want, okay? This is brought to you by TexasBeefHouse.com. Go to bitonbeef.com, use our promo code 365sports. Today, top 5 things the CFP haters got wrong. Number 5, eventually, blowouts will ruin the whole thing. Look, did you watch the NFL playoffs this weekend? On Saturday and the early part of Sunday? Until we got to the Commanders-Buccaneers game, all pretty one-sided games. Packers and Eagles was, I don't know what's going to happen, in the rest of the playoffs, but if you watch Saturday and Sunday's playoff games, my God in heaven, most of them were not that intriguing. Guess what? It happens in sports. Sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug, and the matchups, maybe in the first round weren't the best, but this happens all over the place. Teams get swept in Major League Baseball, the NBA, and the NHL, and it's a bummer, but nobody says, we got to change the playoffs so there's no more sweeps. Or, oh my God, we should shrink the NFL playoffs back because Baltimore won by so much. No! Just adapt. It happens. There's going to be some blowouts. There's going to be some good games. That's how the 4-team playoff was. It's just how sports goes. This was just an excuse for the elitists to keep people out. Number 4, the regular season is meaningless. No, it's still very meaningful. It's just those times are different now. November is more meaningful than it's ever been because now it makes September less vital in this whole thing. There was a time when Notre Dame losing to Northern Illinois, in spite of the other 11 games that they've won or 10 games that they won this year, 11, all those other 11 wouldn't have mattered because they lost to Northern Illinois early in the season and it's over. Well, now you can have a mulligan, and more than just the Ohio States and Alabamas of the world can get mulligans. Everybody can get a mulligan. Now, when you get to that third mulligan, you're probably out. But that could change year to year. But saying the regular season is meaningless, no, it's actually never been more meaningful than it is right now. Number 3, rivalries are not important anymore. These two kind of tie in right together. Look. Was the Ohio State-Michigan game irrelevant to Ohio State's push to being in the championship final? Ultimately, yes, because they had an opportunity to go in and win games and move past it. But look at the team that just beat Texas. Texas and Texas A&M played for the first time in almost 15 years the weekend after Thanksgiving. And guess what? The winner was going to the college football playoff. The loser was not. That, to me, seems to be a pretty meaningful rivalry game. Those things will happen. Look, Clemson and South Carolina wound up almost affecting it all together. So there is so much that you can put into rivalry games, and it's not just the one rivalry game that you're thinking about. Yeah, Ohio State-Michigan, a little bit irrelevant this year when it comes to the grand scheme of things. But will that be the case every year? No. And will Texas and Texas A&M be relevant next year? We don't know. Will Clemson and South Carolina be more relevant because they might both be better next year? And one could knock the other one out of playoff consideration, especially if one of them doesn't wind up in the conference title game. Those things can happen. Guess what? That shakes things up. That makes it better. Number 2, it will just be an SEC Invitational. And I joined Statler and Waldorf here, and they're chuckling. Yes, the SEC got 3 teams in, but the SEC doesn't have any teams in the final. And giving more teams more opportunities to win also gives them more opportunities to lose. So one conference is going to have good years, another conference is going to have bad years. So this year the Big 12 only got 1 team in. Was that justified? Maybe not. But we'll learn from all the data we have, and in year 1, it proved that making it an SEC Invitational would have just made it worse. And because it wasn't, it was better than it could have ever been possibly, and you have parity to thank for that. Diversity in your picks and not putting all your eggs in the Southeastern Conference basket. And number 1, the same old teams will win. Well, kind of. In basketball, you see teams kind of rotate through. Lately, it's been UConn. Kansas won in 08 and they won in 22, but still a long time. Actually, Ohio State and Notre Dame, Ohio State's maybe more of a Kansas-like team right now where they've been right up against it for a long time, but haven't won it. They haven't won since 2014. Notre Dame hasn't won since 1987. I was 7 years old. You know what I cared about more than anything in 1987? Thundercats. I cared about the Thundercats. In 1987 more than anything. And I love sports. But listen, if it came down to watching Notre Dame in the national championship or going to Target and buying a Lionel toy, I was going to Target. That's how much things have changed. Now, getting a Thundercats Lionel toy is like 20th, 5th, 30th, 40th on my list, if at all. Maybe I'd get one if my wife would let me. I don't know. That's neither here nor there. But Notre Dame back in this thing with a chance to win the national title for the first time in nearly 40 years is really, really cool. And it's not just Alabama again or Georgia again. It is someone that hasn't been in this spot, even though they're a brand, for 30 years. Now, is it still going to be tough for Boise States and SMUs and teams like that to get there? Yes. But occasionally, look, Baylor won a title just 4 years ago in college basketball. It can happen. Will it be as much as the other ones? No, but we've seen that in basketball. We've seen it in baseball. We will see it in football. Yeah, Alabama's probably going to find a way to win some more. Kirby Smart's going to find a way to win some more. Oregon might actually find a way to win one for the first time. This is all good, not bad. And with that, I bid you adieu for the day.